Hello and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today in the review box we have the Sauber-Mercedes C9 from Hot Wheels Premium. This is the second car from the Hot Wheels Track Day box set that we are going to cover, and this is the second release of this casting. But for that reason, because I have not reviewed the first version, we're going to go ahead and treat this as though it were the first release and dive into it that way. So it'll just be a normal review. So let's go ahead and take a closer look and see if this one is worth adding to your collection. So let's get things started with our casting. Taking a quick look at our just proportions and everything like that, we can see that it does look pretty good. We will go ahead and pop the real life car up in the top right corner there for you to take a look at. So as you can see, the proportions and everything look great. The casting as a whole looks really nice. One thing we can say right out of the gate is that this engine cover is removable. So just for the sake of making my life easier, we'll take it off for now. As we look into the casted details here on the side, you can see all these little intakes and stuff here. A little bit harder to see on this particular release, just because they kind of hide in with all the lines and stuff of the livery. But we've got some exhaust casted in there. Up front, all these vents and kind of things like that casted in up front. Intakes up here casted in, these little circle-y things casted in. Again on the sides, same thing as the other side there, so nothing too great. Up front, or up top I should say, we do have little antennas casted in, which these have actual, like, they're not just liveries. That's actually casted in and looks absolutely fantastic. Coming to the back, our rear wing here, this is plastic. Our engine is plastic. I would assume it's a piece of the interior, so that all looks good. Base, not a whole lot going on there, as you would expect. If we come to this piece that I removed, we will see that it is once again highly detailed, just as far as casting goes. It's a little bit hard to see the casting lines because of this particular livery, but as a whole, just the casting is pretty phenomenal. So for our paint and deco, we have the AEG Olympia livery. So not only is this a real livery, it's not just an homage either. This is like extremely close. There's a few little things missing here and there, but for the most part, it is extraordinarily close, right down to the 61 being the correct number. Just all these little white lines all seem to be pretty much accurate to the real life car. So it's really, really cool to see. Especially for just the second version of this car. There really wasn't many super unique liveries given to this car, and to see this one done and done so well is really, really cool to see. Absolutely love it. There is not a better second choice that they could have done. Moving into our details, we are not talking about the casted details, obviously. There's really not a whole lot to cover. We do have headlights. They don't fit super duper well, as you can see. They don't kind of line up with the body there, which is definitely a bummer. That's kind of the only gripe with the casting as a whole I would really have. But when you look at it from over here on this side, you can see there's actually details behind them as well, which makes them really cool. They are a piece of the window up here, as far as I can tell. If we come to the back end, we do get taillights on what is overall a pretty bland rear end section, but that is just how the real life car was. And then for more details on the inside, our engine, there has not have any paint or anything like that, but it is just overall pretty highly detailed as far as an engine bay goes. Not too shabby there. But that is about going to wrap us up for our details as far as the ones that are not casted in. Moving into our roll test, it is a Hot Wheels Premium, so it should be no surprise that it rolls extraordinarily smooth. And I went ahead and put this one on the scale, and it came in at 49.35 grams, so it does have some very serious heft to it as well. Let's go ahead and get this started with our pros. The biggest pro on this one is going to be the livery, no doubt. This is a fantastic job. This is rivaling what you would expect from a more premium brand like Mini GT or Tarmac Works livery-wise. Obviously, it's not 100% spot on with every little sticker, manufacturer, and everything like you would get from one of those brands. But from a Hot Wheels, like, this is about as good as it gets. This is phenomenal livery representation here. The other big pro I'm going to say is the casting is done extremely nice. Like I said, as far as the casting goes, the headlights being a little off is the only little nitpick I have for this entire casting. Because other than that, the casting is just phenomenal. And it just looks so good. Coming into our cons, though, we do have two big ones that we need to talk about. The first one is this lack of engine paint. Over here, yeah, okay, if it was just a regular premium release, I could maybe hear the argument that no engine paint whatsoever would be acceptable, but Matchbox Moving Parts occasionally does have engine paint in there for like $3. So, this one being a part of a $27 box set, yeah, I think some, just a little bit even, it doesn't have to be anything fantastic, just a little engine paint wouldn't have hurt anything. The other massive con that we really need to talk about is that this is a box set exclusive. So this one is exclusive to the Track Day box set, as of right now at least. And normally that wouldn't be so much of a con if we didn't factor in, though, that the previous release of this casting was part of the Mercedes box set. So both releases of this casting have been exclusive to box sets. So the only way to get this casting so far is to buy one of these very expensive box sets, and that is definitely a con. And for some quick size comparisons, here we have it next to some other Mercedes race cars you might have in your collection with the Hot Wheels Premium Mercedes CLK GTR and the Hot Wheels Mainline Mercedes CLK LM. And here we have it with some other race cars you might have, with the Hot Wheels Mazda 787B and this Sparky Toyota TS050. So with all that out of the way, it is now time to give my overall thoughts. So the final score is going to come in at 9.7 out of 10. I absolutely love this car. One of the coolest looking race cars of its time, that's for sure. And I absolutely love the casting. Do wish the headlights fit in their little slot a little bit better, fit a little bit more flush with the body. But other than that, still absolutely fantastic casting. The livery on this particular release is absolutely perfect. Matches the real life super well. Can't say much more about it than that. It is a pretty big bummer to me that it is part of a box set exclusively, at least for right now. It could always be re-released as like maybe in those 2 packs that are in Target. Those sometimes get a re-release. So it is possible we'll see it again. But for now, box set exclusive. However, I would say that this release alone, this casting alone, is almost worth the price of the box set. If you're like me and the Lamborghini Essenza just is not really does not really work for you, well, then I can definitely see this one being the big draw to the box set. And the Audi that we'll go over in the next video is pretty nice as well. So those two alone I feel like are good additions, but this one is definitely the real heavy hitter of the box set, in my opinion. I'd say if you are a big fan of racing, this one absolutely needs to be in your collection. If you're a Mercedes fan or a Sauber fan, both of those are a good reason to have this one in your collection. And if you are just a fan of cars in general, this is just one of Hot Wheels' best work. And I really think that this is a release that you need in your collection, regardless of what kind of cars you're really into. And with that, that will do it for this review, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on this particular model down in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed what you saw, and make sure you subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next video.